Hi everyone, welcome to Dave's chair exercise class. I'm assuming most of you are Mandel JCC members, but if you're not, my name is Dave Laporte, and what I'm going to do today is present you some exercises that you can do from the comfort, or maybe not comfort, of your chair. You can expect to see me doing some movements with the arms, with the legs, a little bit of rotation, maybe some bending and reaching, but all in all, I'll give you modifications when needed. You may notice that I'm not playing music with this video, so I encourage you to find some music that you enjoy listening to, play it in the background. Due to licensing issues, I can't just play any music over the internet, so we'll have to make do for now until I figure out how to include music. If you feel like anything I'm doing is difficult for you, feel free to leave it out and just watch, or try a lesser version. And like I said, I'll try to offer up some modifications. So, if you're ready to go, I want you to start out just by sitting up very straight in your chair. So you'll notice that I'm not slouching, and I'm also not leaning back against the back of the chair. I'm trying to sit up off the back. I'm going to tighten my abs a little bit, let my shoulders relax, and I just want to start by taking a few deep breaths. In through my nose, and out through your mouth. You bet you wonder how I'm doing that. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Just one more time. Nice, deep, even breath. And out again. Now, just start by holding both arms up in front of you, and I'm just going to keep my hands open. One thing I like to do is to spread my fingers apart while I do these exercises, just to make the hands work as well as the rest of the body. So I'm keeping the fingers open, spread out nice and wide, and I'm just going to swing one arm in back and one arm in front like I was walking or running. And I want you to make sure, by the way, as you do this, that you're not banging your elbows into the back of your chair. I'm using an ordinary dining room chair, so my arms are actually going a little bit outside the back. You'll know if I hit the back because I'll say ow. Now, you can go a little faster. If you got some rhythm with some music you're listening to, you go ahead and move to the beat. Right now I'm imagining I'm listening to some disco, in which case I might be doing something like this. Right? You can copy this move if you want to too. If you got some disco music in the background, feel free to let it loose. In my classes at the J, we're often up on our feet and we're dancing to this. All right, I'm going to go back to those arm swings again. And then let's switch down to the lower body. So I'm going to reach down and grab onto the sides of the chair. And then I'm just going to lift one knee at a time, just like I'm walking, maybe a little higher knee lift than you would do in a normal walk. Again, keep your body upright. Abs are tight. Belly button's in a little bit. You might hear me say that to you, right? Suck it in. So think of pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Every time I lift a knee, I'm just doing a little breath out. One tip, if you're doing this, and after a while you start running out of breath, if you can't have a conversation with somebody, you might be going a little too hard. So feel free to ease back, go at a slower pace if you need to. And also notice, I'm lifting my knees up relatively high, but I could do this a little smaller if I want to. Keep the knees lifted. And then, let's switch back to the upper body. So again, sitting up straight and tall, abs are in. I'm going to hold both my arms up in front of me like this. This time I'm going to make a fist. I'm going to bring my arms together. I'm going to open them nice and wide. I'm really trying to pull back here. I'm going to bring the elbows together. I'm going to open, bring them together, and open. Just continue this move right here. Trying to turn my hands. Notice you can see my fingers. And then when my hands come together, you're looking at the back of my hands. So I want that forearm to rotate. I'm really trying to create as much movement as I can with every exercise. Just a couple more like this, really pulling the shoulder blades together, still sitting up straight and tall, still breathing. Good, all right, now let's put a few of these things together. What I want you to do next is start with your hands on your legs. I'm going to spread my hands and my feet apart at the same time and basically do a jumping jack in the chair. So I'm going out and in. Remember, if you got some music, stay with the beat. Otherwise, follow along with me as best you can. And you can always make these smaller movements. See, I'm making it a little smaller. I don't have to go quite as big. Also, make sure you feel comfortable with your balance. I don't want you to fall off your chair. So if you don't feel like you're secure in the seat, sit back a little farther. Again, smaller moves will also help you keep your balance. But I'm going big, and as far as I'm concerned, bigger is better. Within your own limits, though. Just a couple more like this. Starting to burn a little bit in my legs. All right, bring it down. All right, take a little break if you need it. Now, anytime you want, you can pause this video, take a little rest, and then start it back up again when you're ready. All right, now we're going to go for some side bends. So what I'm going to do is, if I can, I'm going to put one hand behind my head like this. Now, if your shoulder doesn't let you do that, you just put that arm across the front of your body this way. But if you can put your hand back here, other arm reaching towards the floor, I'm going to side bend in my chair, and then I'm going to come back up again. It's like I'm reaching down to touch the floor, and with this arm up here, it's going to give me a little more of a stretch. If you feel like you can do it, bring that hand up and reach over your head when you come up, right? So now I'm really stretching when I come back, right? And you can always leave this off. This arm can stay down here, and I can just bend and reach to the floor. One other point, when I'm leaning over, I'm going to keep this cheek on the seat. So I'm not rocking up off this hip here. I want to keep it on the chair as I go. Back and forth. Let's do 3 more like this. I'm trying to go for about 10 reps of each thing, sometimes more. All right, and then let's switch sides. So hand behind the head. If you can get it there, remember to modify here if you need it. And then I'm going to put the other arm towards the floor and side bend down and reach. And also, I don't know if it shows in the camera, but I'm not bending forward at all when I do this. So if I were going forward, it would look more like this. I'm trying to go straight to the side, keep my head and my shoulders in line with my hips. Ooh, that's a good stretch. Now if you want to add that arm reach, a little more stretch. Remember, this is optional. You can always go back to putting your arm across your chest when you do that reach. I hope you're doing all right. You're staying with the beat. I'm going to do one more. All right, now, a little bit of side to side. Let's change to rotation. So I'll start easy, and then we'll add some modifications to make it more challenging. So why don't you start a little I Dream a Genie pose here. And you all remember that show, don't you? I want you to turn your body to one side and then come back to the center. We're just going to rotate from one side to the other. Now, I'm really doing my best not to move my hips when I do this, okay? So you can see I'm not sliding like this. I'm keeping my hips planted on the seat and twisting from one side to the other. You might notice you can't go so far. That's okay. I'm not trying to turn all the way around and look behind me. I just want to keep the rotation going from one side to the other, breathing out with each twist. And I'm really doing my best to pull with the muscles in my stomach and my sides here when I go around. So now if you want to add a little difficulty to this, you can extend your arms out to the sides. Try to do it this way. And you'll notice when I turn, I'm not actually moving my arm forward like this. I'm just turning the upper body, and the arms are going along for the ride. We'll see if you can do that. Now this might be tough on the shoulders for some of you, so you can stay in I Dream a Genie pose. And even if that's difficult, you can stay down here. But I really want you to twist the body without moving the arms. Keep breathing. Let's just do a couple more. Good. All right, now we're going to take that rotation and add a little more movement to it. So if you take your hands, put them on your legs, and you're going to twist down and reach for one foot and then come back up. So now I'm twisting and reaching. All right, we're going for steady motion here. A couple things to keep in mind here is that when you're doing a little bend forward, right, you got to look down at what you're doing. So keep your eyes on your feet as you're reaching, right? Look at what your hands are doing. Breathe out as you bend. And for some people, you might get a little dizzy doing this, so you can do a smaller move. Maybe don't reach quite so far. Just reach across the front of your knee. But if you can reach your foot, I want you to go for it. I always like to tell my clients a little moaning and groaning is totally okay because it lets me know you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. Breathe out and sit up. Good news is if you're whining and complaining about this right now, I can't hear you, so go for it. Just a couple more times, bending, reaching across to the opposite foot. All right, now, sit up nice and straight. You remember, belly button in a little bit. Drop your shoulders. Get your body up as tall as you can. Reach back and grab the sides of your chair. Okay, now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. In this chair, I'm actually gripping the base of the chair, the base of the seat. But if there's something down there for you to grab onto, I want you to hook onto it. Okay, if not, maybe you're sitting in a chair with some arms, you can hook onto the arms of your chair. From here, I'm going to do a leg extension. So I'm going to slightly lift my foot and then extend my leg straight out. Look at that. See the bottom of my shoe? I'm going to bend it, and I'm going to do that 10 times, right? So here's number 2. Extend and bend. Really doing my best to keep the upper leg nice and still, and when I lift, I'm squeezing these muscles right here in the top of my leg. That's it. Breathe out when you lift. Keep my hands down there on the chair. Now, if it helps you to find that, you can take a finger and poke it right into those leg muscles and feel them contract. One of the ways to help you feel like you're using your muscles is to really touch them and feel them contracting. Just 2 more, and then we're going to switch legs. I don't know if I actually did 10 there, but if you want to count up 10, you can stick to 10. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just lifting the leg a little bit and then extending straight out. If you want to see that from the side, I'm just going to turn sideways in my chair. And you can see the knees up, my leg's just about parallel with the floor, and I'm trying to straighten it right out. And if you're like me, this knee makes a lot of interesting cracking and crunching sounds. Notice, by the way, now that I'm straightening up, that I'm trying to keep my body nice and straight. So I'm not slouching like this when I lift that leg up. Straight body, extend and bend. I'm going to turn back to the front for a few more. Extend and bend. Breathe out when you extend. Keep your spine up nice and straight. Right, one more time. All right, good. Take a little break there. Remember, pause if you want to take a rest. You can always start the video. You can do this in segments if you want to. Do a couple exercises, take a break. In fact, a great way to break up a workout is just to do a few exercises when you feel like it, and then go on to other things, come back and do others later. Everything doesn't have to be done in one bout. You can break your workouts out throughout the day, especially while we find ourselves stuck in our homes a little more. I like to do little exercises here and there throughout the day rather than 1 hour-long workout. All right, so what we're going to do next is a front bend, right? So what we're going to do is sit up straight and tall, and I want you to hinge at the hips here. We're trying to make a nice straight spine. Let me turn sideways so you can see another angle. And I'm going to bend at the hips. So I'm just trying to lean forward as far as I can, and then I'm going to come back up. And when I come back up, I'll turn to the seat in the front, I'm going to open my arms and sort of lean back on the back of my chair, try to look up. Okay, so I can bring the hands forward. I'm going to put them on my knees, bend the body forward, nice and straight, hinging at the hips, then lean back over the back of your chair, open your arms up, try to extend. Now you notice what I'm doing with my arms. That might be difficult for some of you. So you can go back to I Dream a Genie pose if you want, and lean back. Or when you come back, let your arms hang down to your sides, grab the back of your chair, and when I lean back, I'm sort of spreading the chest apart. It kind of creates the same effect that I want from this move right here. Opening the arms up nice and wide, and then we bring them back. Just a couple more like this. Bend forward, hinging at the hips, and then opening up and stretching back. Right? One more time, bend. You just take this to whatever range of motion feels okay to you, and open, and back we go. All right, now, here's probably the most challenging thing I'm going to offer up for you today, and then we're going to do a few stretches. Okay, so what I'd like you to try first, I'm going to sit back. In fact, let me turn sideways so you can see this. I'm going to sit a little bit towards the front of the chair. My hands are going to come back behind me, and I'm going to tip my upper body back. Again, I'm not leaning on the seat. If you need it, you can do it, but I'd rather you try not to. Now, if you lift one knee nice and high, and then put it down, right, and then repeat with the other leg, just trying to pull that leg up. By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is an artificial hip. So you might notice this one comes up pretty high, and this one is a little bit more of a struggle. So each time I lift, I'm just trying to pull that leg up a little higher. But most important of all, I'm pulling more with my stomach muscles when I lift that leg up. So I'm actually trying to use that pull right there to lift that leg up. Right? Abs in, breathing out. Now here's a challenge for you. I don't want you to do this if you feel like you have any pain in your lower back, if you have lower back issues, I want you to stay with this single leg lift. For anybody who feels like they've got it in them, I'm going to try lifting both legs at the same time, and then I'm going to put them down. Real important here, I'm leaning back, I'm tightening my stomach muscles, and I'm trying to use the abs to lift the knees up to my chest, and then put them back down, okay? Now they don't have to go this high. Maybe you're only going this high, that's fine. And again, you can stay with a single leg lift. If you feel any stress in your lower back, stick with this move right here and just concentrate on pulling with the stomach muscles. All right, let's do just a couple more. I'm going to do 3 more with both legs coming up. Notice me breathing out with each lift. One more time. All right, good. Now, let's finish up with a little stretching. So we'll just do a couple stretches. You notice that some of the moves that we did were also stretches. So first off, if you take one foot and put it out in front of you with your toe pointed up at the ceiling. So I've got my toe pointed up like this, my heel's resting on the floor. You can't see my leg in the shot. I'm going to sit up very straight. The other leg is bent. I'm actually going to move it a little out to the outside like this. Then I'm going to take my opposite hand. I'm going to hold onto the chair with this side, and I'm going to reach across and try to touch my toe. And when I do that, I'm trying to keep my back straight. So I'm not schlumping, the word some of you might know. I'm going to keep my back straight and reach for my toe, and then I'm going to sit up nice and straight. Right? I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to reach down. Let's hold that for just a few seconds and breathe. Good. And come back up. Then we're going to do that again. Reach down and breathe. Good. And one more time. You are welcome to hold the stretch for a little longer if you need to. I usually go about 5 seconds when I'm doing this in my class. And I want you to switch legs. Again, heel on the floor. I'm going to move that other leg out to the side just a little bit. Spine straight, toe up, and then use the opposite hand while holding onto the chair. Reach for your toe. Breathe out. Good. Come on back up. Do that again. Exhale on the way down. And then come back up. Right? We're going to do 2 more. I'm going to hold the last one just for a little longer. Are you keeping your back straight? Keep your chest lifted. It's another way to think about that to help you hinge from the hip. I'm going to hold this and let it go. Very nice. Okay, now, here's a stretch for the front of the leg. And this is maybe a more challenging stretch. This works a little better if you're in a seat like this with no arms. So I can turn sideways in my chair. The front foot, in this case the leg closer to the back of the chair, is going to stay bent with my foot flat on the floor. I'm going to scooch a little bit closer to the front edge of the seat, and I'm going to take this leg and slide it backwards. Okay, I'm going to push my toe, and you can't see this in the camera, but my toe is on the floor. So I'm like this, okay, putting that toe down, and I'm trying to stretch it back as far as I can, holding on to the seat. See where my hands are. Now what I'm going to do is try to straighten my back up, and then I'm going to take this inside arm. So I'm reaching back with my right leg, and then I'm going to reach up with that same arm. Now, if going up is a little tough, you can just reach forward, but as I reach up, I'm going to lean back slightly. I'm going to breathe out, and then I'm going to bring the hand down, and then bring the leg back in. And we'll do that 2 more times, okay? Stretch that leg back, extend the leg nice and far, lift the arm up, breathe out. You can look up at your hand for a little more stretch. If that affects your balance, so keep your eyes to the front. Then I'm going to bring the hand back down and bring my leg back forward. Do that 1 more time, right? Take a stretch back, and lift that arm up, and extend, breathe, and then return to the starting position, and then let's turn around, do the same thing on the other side. So I've got my leg bent, my foot flat on the floor, scooching myself just a little closer to that edge, but make sure you're securely on the seat. Reach back with that back leg. I've got my heel pointed at the ceiling, my toe on the ground. I'm going to take my front hand and lift it up and stretch back, breathing out. And then I'll bring my hand back down to the seat, bring my leg back in. Let's do that 2 more times. Stretching back with the leg, reaching up. Some of you who've done my class before have seen us do this in the class. Right? Bring it back down and in. When we do this class again, I'll certainly offer some other options and different exercises, and maybe if you're nice, we'll add a little dancing. And then come back down. Let's do that one more time, right? Stretch back, extend the arm, reach up and back. Remember, if you don't want to reach up, you can just reach forward, but try to stretch back with that leg. Leaning back like this intensifies the stretch. And the hand comes down to the chair, and the leg comes forward. All right, let's do one more stretch, and then we'll call this a workout. So what I want you to do is, sitting up straight in the chair, I'm going to take my opposite hand and go across the outside of my leg, keeping my knees and my hips parallel. Then I'm going to take my other hand and reach back for the back of the chair behind me, and I'm going to turn my head and my body as far as I can, breathing out at the same time. And then once you're back here, keep your body rotated, but turn your head, only your head, back to the other direction. See if you can go as far around as you can. Good, and then bring the head back, you can release. Let's go to the other side, right? Remember to breathe. Moaning and groaning lets me know you're breathing, right? So put that hand here, the other hand back, spine up nice and tall. Again, I'm not bent, very straight. Turn the body and the head around, breathing out. And then bring the head back around just as far as you can get. Don't force anything. Just find the limit and nudge against it gently. And then you can release. So that's once more on each side. Sitting tall. I'm going to breathe in. Hand goes across. Other hand grabs the chair. Exhale as you turn. Right. Then bring the head around. So I'm trying to make these moves nice and smooth. And then release. Let's do that once more on the other side. Reach across. Grab the back of the chair. Rotate and breathe. Turn the head back to the front as far as you can go. And then release. And thank you all much for watching. I hope to see you back in the JCC real soon. Remember, be well, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon.